Hey everybody, welcome to the HollisWasHere.com video newsletter. I wanted to talk about a bunch of things today. People ask me all the time, they go, Hollis, how are you writing so many books? For many years I was writing screenplays. I moved out to California in the first place at the end of '04 to pursue a screenwriting career. 16 years of writing, I think 9 feature screenplays and a TV show, and really nothing came of it. So I don't want to say it was wasted time, but I feel like I could have maybe used a better usage of my time. And years ago when I was an editor for 3 fitness magazines, we used to get a lot of books that would come in. So I would see tons and tons of fitness books, what worked, what I thought didn't, what could be improved upon, and that kind of stayed in my brain. All these years later, I did the first 7 books as a work for hire, as I've said a bunch of times, and that was great. And it wasn't until Peak Physique I finally was able to write the book that I wanted to write. From my heart, and that's why future books that will say Liebman Holdings LLC, my packaging company, are the most dearest and closest to me. I'm proud of all of my books, but Liebman Holdings LLC packaged projects are my true vision of what I always wanted to do and achieve in books. And Peak Physique was the first. The second is From Slight to Might, which you guys have seen the cover now, which is my Ectomorph Hard Gainer book. Peak Physique 2 is going to be after that. I'm working on that right now, and I'm hell-bent on making that better than part 1. And that leads me now into the 4th project. A month or so ago I'm on social media all the time, as I see many of you on there, and what I really can't stand seeing, aside from a lot of political negative comments people write, which you're free to do, of course, this is America, is animal abuse. I can't stand to see any kind of animal abuse on social media at all, even if people are trying to bring attention to it. And I saw something, I think a month ago, it was in another country that they were going to have a dog feast or something, and there were really torturous pictures, and I said, that's it. Now I have 3 small dogs and a cat. I'm kind of maxed out, and I thought, what can I do to try to make a difference? So I'm working on a children's book now with my dog. And believe me, I really can't say too much, it's going to blow you away. And I've decided I'm going to take some proceeds from every book sold and make a check to a charity for dogs that basically helps to do surgeries. There's a lot of dogs out there, there's a lot of nameless people that pay with their own money to get these dogs fixed or save their lives. And I would like to make some kind of a difference and do that. It's something that I can do. I could foster, you know, and I could adopt another dog. I'm kind of maxed out at this point. This is something unique and different that I could do with the voice that I've worked hard to build. So, you know, just trying to do something to make a difference out there. The other thing I want to talk about, I realized on my newsletter I don't really do a rant or talk about bodybuilding, my chosen sport, and I want to talk about bodybuilding today. It was 20 years ago I won the Teen National Heavyweight Championship at the NPC. I haven't competed since. I had plans to go on. I still believe to this day I would have been a very good pro, and I just fell in love with screenwriting and writing, and I also didn't want to go to the next level as far as bodybuilding competition preparation means. I wasn't willing to do that, and I did drop a plan. My next show was going to be the 1996 NPC Junior Nationals. I always believe in a plan and in progressing, and a lot of my beliefs and how I feel, you know, I really agree with 6-time Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates. Dorian always tried to improve from year to year. He didn't always succeed, especially at the end when he tore a lot of body parts. And he himself would probably tell you today he would have backed off on the intensity a little bit when his calories were lower weeks before a show. But regardless, that's the mentality of keeping your mouth shut, you know, not talking smack. He didn't talk about any of the other athletes, and he would show up generally with an improved package. And I never understood the athlete who would jump from show to see how they would do. To me, it's always about improvement. Even with Peak Physique 2, it must be a better book than 1. It must be, or I won't put it out. And I just refuse to put out something if it's not improved. And I think that correlates to any aspect, you know, of life. I miss the bodybuilding of yesteryear. I was happy and proud to be an IFBB official. Wayne D'Amelia brought me in, and I'm still grateful to this day. I got to work behind the scenes with a lot of my heroes. I mean, there was a time we were backstage at the O2, Mr. Olympia, and Ronnie Coleman asked if anybody had chapstick. I did, because I had a fanny pack in those days, and then he said, "Thank you, Mr. Chapstick Man," and that was a cool little thing. You know, and just working with the athletes, and I miss seeing that level of competition. Flex Wheeler, Nasser El Somebody, Kevin Levrone, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Sean Ray, I'm sure I'm forgetting other champions, but this is a very exciting time period, because even though Dorian, was a 6-time Olympian and maybe a little bit better than the other guys, you had a very close field of just amazing athletes that really could have gone any way. There were certain shows that either guy could have won. The 96 Arnold, Kevin Levrone won. I feel Flex Wheeler was better on that particular evening. I have the pleasure of seeing what I think are some of the greatest competition physiques of all time. I was there at the 2001 Arnold Classic for what I believe is Ronnie Coleman's best shape ever. I was there at the 03 Mr. Olympia when Ronnie Coleman came in the biggest we've ever seen an athlete of that caliber come in, ever. I was there at what I feel is the best conditioning I've ever seen, the 1993 Night of Champions, when the late Andres Munzer took second. He should have taken first, but I think he tightened up by the time the night show came. Porter Cottrell won that year, but that was the craziest conditioning I've ever seen. And when people ask me, well, what is the appeal of the bodybuilding? You're just oiling up and posing in front of people. It's like if you build a car, that's just putting it on the showroom. You guys that are watching this all know that the sport takes place in the gym, bettering yourself, doing an extra rep with a weight you've never done before, getting a body part more symmetrical with the others, or building it up, or improving. To me, that was always the appeal. Every time I would do a show, I would go to the judges and I'd say, what do I need? Or why didn't I win? Or I won, but what else can be improved upon? And I would listen to them. And I think if you're able to do that and really go to people, even with my books now, I go to my editor and I say, this is the best that I've done. It's in your hands for now. Tell me what we can do to improve it. It takes, I think, lack of an ego and just a team, kind of a team player belief system to say the most important thing is to make the best product possible. When you do that, you make yourself better. One year the judges said you need legs, and I killed myself in the off season to bring legs. And that's what it's about. So getting back to the bodybuilding, I miss those days of going to, it was kind of like the Mike Tyson big fight atmosphere. You go to the press conferences, and you'd see who was in shape and who was not. Even though they'd be clothed, I could kind of tell by who was drawn in the face. And I miss those kind of days. I think today the competition is, it's good. It's still the Mr. Olympia. I like Phil Heath. I think he's got an amazing three-dimensional physique. I like Kai. I like all the guys today. But I just don't think, and it's not their fault, it's just my opinion, that the competition is what it used to be. I don't think it's as exciting as it used to be. Having said that, I think bodybuilding is perhaps bigger than it's ever been. It's pretty much, it's selling out. You have, with social media, it's really cool. You can interact with these guys. When I was competing, you really couldn't unless you'd see them at the shows. I think that's very exciting. And I think it's exciting you can make a career today, and a good one, while not being a pro bodybuilder. There are certain names out there that have way more followers than any pro, and they're making a killing. And I say, great, good for them. There's all enough, a piece of this pie for us all to get a piece of. So great, do your thing. And I did want to say this, and I'm not going to mention names. I think that Jim Mannion, the president, does a great show. I believe it's the Pittsburgh show once a year. He gets the best guys in the world to guest pose. Some of the guys there are in such amazing shape, so many months out from the Mr. Olympia, that is my opinion, it may deter them from peaking for real or again at the Mr. Olympia. In my opinion, you only need to look really good once a year, and that is at that level at the Mr. Olympia. And some guys grow into a show, some guys get really soft in off season and they hone down into a show. I certainly am not, or was I ever Mr. Olympia level, but I was on my way, and my belief was to build the house and paint it later, to make improvements each off-season. Of course, the law of diminishing gains tells us that the further in we get into something more advanced, the harder it is to progress. I get that. But I think that you must try to improve constantly. And that's the appeal of just about everything that I do, everything I love, is bodybuilding and writing, is always to improve, improve, improve. And I really don't care or concerned with what else is out there. I'm really not concerned with the books that are on the shelves, because they're not my competition. My competition is to beat Peak Physique 1. Or whatever it might be. And in regards to bodybuilding, it's the same thing. You must be better than you were. So these are really things I wanted to talk about. I always consider myself a bodybuilder. I haven't been to the shows in a number of years, and I miss certain things about it. I did want to mention, I think Jay Cutler, 2009 Mr. Olympia, was also one of the greatest physiques I've ever seen, and I was there. But in my opinion, the greatest physique of all time ever seen on a bodybuilding stage that I had privilege to see was the 1998 version of Flex Wheeler at the Arnold Classic. you can see some guy recently put video up of prejudging, and even though it's a little blurry, you can see that that physique was crazy. It was complete, it was shredded, it was round, it was full. He was drawn, which tells you with flex that he was in shape. I mean, I challenge you to find a greater physique than that. That was just so complete. That was, in my opinion, the greatest physique of all time we've ever seen on a stage, ever. And Flex generally was able to bring his best at the Arnold Classic shows, and he was good at the Olympia, but I don't think he was ever as good as he could have been. So I'm curious, what do you guys consider the greatest bodybuilding physique of all time? Let me know, liebman.hollis@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Hit me up. Agree, disagree, like, dislike. Just keep doing your thing, and remember, the competition is in the mirror. That's it. Be well. Thanks.